What's up guys, my name is Zero Heroes and welcome back to more Gates of Hell. Now as you know on my channel, cheat mods are quite a big thing on my channel, and if you haven't seen any cheat mod on my channel then make sure you go check out, because those are some of the most popular videos on my channel. Now a lot of the questions that I get asked is, how do you install cheat mods, how do you get them, or even the better question is, which is the best cheat mod to get in Gates of Hell? Now I know this makes the game quite unrealistic, but to be honest, when you actually add on, it makes it funner. It makes it just absolutely insane, and I'm going to give you the top 2 of my favorite cheat mods, because in my current workshop subscriptions I have 6 cheat mods, one of them being the spawn menu part 1, the cheat menu, the cheat for conquest, the army Finnish army cheat mod, you also have the Russian army cheat mod, and also you have the German army cheat mod. So I have quite a lot of cheat mods, but with all that it can come a lot of confusion, and there's no really specific answer on why there's so many conquests, on why there's so many cheat mods, and basically which one is the best. And that is what I'm here to do, to narrow down to the top 2 of my favorite, most recommended cheat mods that will work for your game, but also it'll basically also not crash your game at any point during the download or installation of the cheat mod, as well as when you're running in the game, your game doesn't crash while your cheat mod is activated in a battle. So without further ado guys, if you'd like to see more content like this, and make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and let me down in the comments down below what is your favorite cheat mod, or if you don't have one then let me know what your favorite general mod is down below. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first one I'm going to recommend is probably my most favorite one of all time, which is called the cheat menu, and this is by someone called M, a creator who I've actually or a workshop creator who I've actually followed for a while on this specific type of mod, and it gives you lots of information about what this mod offers and how basically what factions it brings into the games, and is it compatible with everything in the game. So today I'm going to be showing you what that looks like in the game. I would also like to add something I forgot to mention, is that make sure you actually have all the DLCs. Well, not actually all of them. Make sure you have the main DLCs, which is the Talvasota DLC, the Scorched Earth, Liberation, and the Airborne DLCs. And if you do not have all of them, then the mod will not work. So the required DLCs you have to get for this mod is the Talvasota, Scorched Earth, Liberation, and Airborne. If you do not have one of these, let's say you have 3 of these, but let's say you don't have Airborne, it still won't work. You need all 4 DLCs to make sure this mod works, so make sure you take that in consideration. But honestly, with 5-star reviews, 1,329 ratings, you know, on the comments, honestly I have to say this is one of the best favorite mods in my opinion. So let's go have a look now to see what that cheat mod looks like. Okay guys, so even though I loaded into a map with no enemy, it still took about 5 minutes just to load into this game. That's how big this mod is, and just be careful when you are downloading this mod. It is a pretty damn big mod to download, so make sure you have quite a lot of space saved up in your storage to have it. Now the one thing I love about this one, why I picked it, is because it's very simple and easy to use, and I've moved my face over to it so to let you see. So as you know, you have, it lets you pick 4 factions which are currently in the game: Germany, Soviets, Finnish, and the Americans. Now this thing at the bottom is utilities, and in this option you basically get to have a massive artillery at the click of your finger. You don't need to call in any special artillery, you know, that you have to wait like 10 minutes just to wait for. This is instant, and you can either call in a small explode, which sounds more like a mortar, maybe a heavy mortar, 180mm airstrike, which you can just call in immediately, or a 240mm airstrike again at the click of your button. And not only that, you have a bunch of options. You have an 80 centimeter mortar barrage, you have a artillery barrage, I think that's a 105, you have an 150 millimeter barrage, you have a 122 millimeter barrage artillery, you have a 152 millimeter barrage, you have a 155 millimeter barrage, and you have a 122 millimeter smoke barrage. So you have a ton of options for just instantly just one-shotting everything with a click of your finger. And that sounds incredibly cheatsy. Now, going on to kind of the more faction. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them kind of because one faction will do. Let's say you want to pick an American, and let's say you want to pick a squad. You have all sorts of range from the more updated, so you can call it the 101st Airborne, which okay, for some reason did not spawn in for me. I will click the 80. Okay, for some reason they're not wanting to spawn in. I don't know why. I think it might be some sort of early glitch, but you can see that you can call in any sort of rifleman from the Americans, and let's say, you don't want to pick, a certain, let's say you want a sniper. You go back to the menu and you can choose from squads, from 100 Air Force. You can choose your specialists, which is like your snipers, your AP miners, your flamethrowers. You can choose any of that. Your cannons, being your mortars, your AT guns, artillery, your cars, such as you can pick, from your supply trucks to your your towing trucks to even the British Universal Carrier Mark II, which is a very cool addition, I will say there. And from that, you can also choose it from your BTR, which is a more modern thing, but BTR meaning as in kind of like lightly armored vehicles. So for the Americans, it will be such as, you can be like your T30 HMC, your T90 HMC, it'll be your M31A1 Commander kind of truck. So there's a whole lot of options. You get the M8 Greyhound, so those type of options. And then even if you want to say like you want to pick like a light tank, medium, and heavy tanks, you can do that with the tanks options, which allows you to either pick heavy tanks, medium tanks, or light tanks. Let's say you want to go for a Sherman, you have all the Sherman options at your disposal right at the click of your finger, even with including the English ones being the Sherman 308 and the Sherman VC. So very cool addition there. So, and the only one thing I would criticize about this mod is that every time you have to go back, let's say you click on, squads, but let's say you don't actually want to go to squads, you want to pick a specialist, it will take you all the way back to clicking on the cheat menu again, and then clicking the faction again, and then clicking the specialized unit that you want. So you have to go through that whole process, where I wish it would kind of just take you back to this option, and that, where you can choose quickly what you want. So there's a wee bit of process to it, but on the other hand, and my conclusion is that it's simple to use, it's easy to use, and it doesn't crash your game. And even though none of mine spawned, they will absolutely spawn 100% of the time. So if you really do want this mod, then I will leave it down in the link down below so you guys can play it for yourself. But let me know on a rate of 10, what would you rate this? For me, I would give it about a 9 out of 10. Again, the only reason I give it a 10 is if it was for, going back to kind of this option more quickly. But that is my first mod that I would choose for, or the number one mod that I would choose for the cheat mod. Let's go to my second option now, and I will tell you why this is my second most favorite cheat mod in the game. Okay guys, so the second mod that I would choose is called the Spawn Menu Part 1. And I don't know, I've not seen a part 2, so I presume part 1 is just part of the main mod. There's no part 2 of what I have seen. And this is created by 3 creators, one called Rosme again, maybe just 2 accounts, sorry. So in this case, 2 people and another name that I'm not going to try to pronounce because it's in Chinese or Mandarin or whatever it is. So it is a big shout out to these guys. And again, these guys have got another 5-star rating, but this time with less reviews of 500 ratings, but that's still amazing. And it is also crucial to include that it does require you to have 5 of the DLCs: the Talvasota, Scorched Earth, Liberation, Airborne, and Jubilee. So make sure you have all of those DLCs downloaded before you have this mod downloaded, as if you have 4 out of the 5 mod DLCs downloaded, this mod will not work. And also, again, this mod is a pretty big mod to download, so again, make sure you have storage space on your files so you can download this mod, and it might take a while, but it definitely will work. Now, let me give you the reasons why I absolutely love this mod, and it's actually a lot more detailed than you think. Alright guys, so the reason I love this spawn menu, or this cheat mod menu, is because you have so many options to play with, and even you have settings to play with the AI. You can mess around with the enemy AI if you really want to. You can go to your global settings here and you can max out a single unit. So that basically means that once you get a unit, you can basically just keep spawning and keep spawning. You can clear debris. So let's say there's something that's, you know, in your way, you know, there's a bit of debris that's in your way that you want to maybe dig a trench to, you can delete that. You can turn on and off winter camo, desert camo, and forest camo, which is absolutely incredible. This amount of detail is honestly incredible. And when you go up, you can also delete AI aircraft. You can delete all units, or you can delete singular units. So you can, if there's a unit you brought out, or a unit that the enemy brought out that you don't particularly like, or you don't want to go up against, you can just press delete at the finger of your, finger of your button. Honestly, it's absolutely insane, and a really good, you know, picture to detail. I say picture to detail, you know, really good detail right there. So there's so much you can do within that one option. Let me take you back. You can also take control of AI, which is incredible. So you can turn on AI control. Now I should have maybe brought in some enemy AI, but in this case, you can, the AI control goes on or is either goes off. I mean, in that case, actually what that means is not for enemy AI, it's for friendly AI. That means that you can either take control of your troops manually, which you usually do, or you can just let the AI just control your troops and they'll attack randomly wherever they feel is best. So it's honestly a good, really good decision there. You can do auto assign, which basically allows you, if you're in a multiplayer section or you're in a multiplayer with your friends and all of you have this mod activated, it will allow you to, you are allowed to select which player you want for each unit. So let's say player 1 up to 7, you can choose for player 7 to have that unit, player 5 to have tanks, player 3 to have, you know, artillery. So you can specifically pick which units go to which player, which is again incredible, which the other mod doesn't have. Also, you have your standard kind of spawning in units. You know, you have your infantry squad, your kind of specialized squad, your emplacement. So that'll be kind of like AT, you know, all mortars and all that, which is absolutely incredible. You can have your vehicles. So that'll be kind of like your lightly armored vehicles, going all the way from your kind of your lightly armored and including your supply crates or your supply trucks, which is cool. So they're kind of combined in one. You've got your kind of armoured vehicles, which consist of light tanks, medium tanks, heavy tanks, and tank destroyers, which is incredible, which the other mod does not have. So you can spawn like a Jag Panther or Jag Tiger and the Sturm Tiger or the Sturm Morzer, and you can also spawn a Ferdinand. So there's so much that you can spawn within this mod. You can also even spawn aircraft. You can get, like, with the Germans, you can get like your BF 109 all the way up to kind of your heavy artillery barrage. So there's so many options, or you can even do a pick aircraft bombing zone. So this allows you to manually pick where you want to pick your bombing zone instead of the AI letting you pick a random spot where they'll just bomb it. So again, an incredible amount of attention to detail there. So and all that, and also with this mod is that when you kind of click on a section, you can just go back to kind of the menu and pick another section of unit that you want, which is what the other mod does not offer. So the reason why maybe I should be putting this at number 1, but I like the other one because of simplistically. Basically, there's so much to do in this one that it can become quite overwhelming for new players and for anyone that just wants to, you know, just bomb the shit out of stuff. you can do that, but with this mod, it's quite confusing and it's quite complicated. So this is why I prefer the other mod. But overall, I would give, out of the 10, I would rate this a solid like 9. Again, probably a 9. For me, personally, possibly an 8.5 out of 10. I think this would make it better, or making it just a wee bit more simplistic. Just, you know, putting the AI control and having the global settings for your decals, it feels a bit unnecessary, but it is a really cool feature to add. And of course, the way you're able to change faction is just by clicking on the factions there, which you can do at any point. So there you go, guys. That is the spawn menu at your service at any time. And of course, leave this mod down below. And that is the top two mods that I would pick for your cheat mods on why you should download it or why you should get it. So if you feel like you agree with me, then let me know out of those two mods which one you would download, and if you don't have them, then which one would you choose? Or do you disagree with both of my options and you prefer another cheat mod that I've not seen yet, which I'll be happy to listen to in the comments down below. So that is that for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see other tutorial videos, then I have one on the left hand screen right now. But other than that, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and Ostfront, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, and goodbye.